Well, greetings and salutations, everybody out there in YouTube land. I'm your host, once again, Dan Thornton. I want to thank you all for joining me this Wednesday, leading into the game against Kansas City, the NFL season opener. So, as we probably are all aware, Travis Kelce, the All-World, All-Pro, All-Universe tight end, might actually miss this game tomorrow. In case you don't know, just real quick, he hyperextended his knee yesterday. Today, Wednesday, the team will probably give out an official statement about an update on his condition closer to, we'll say, 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Most teams do put out their first round of pressers right around the early portions of the afternoon. Every team does differentiate a little bit in time. But being that as it may, Kelce, even if he can go, I think we all know he's going to be a little limited. How is this going to impact the team? Well, let's start with the secondary and the linebacker responsibilities. The coverage units will be severely different if he is not out there versus if he is. That's going to free up Aaron Glenn to spend a little bit more time and resources on stopping the wide receivers of Kansas City, which I think we all know aren't what they once were. But you still got Patrick Mahomes, so go from there. All right, moving on from Kansas City, let's real quickly talk about some trade updates. Excuse me. So I know a bunch of you guys have asked the last few days anything on the Mike Evans news. There is no new news, at least that I'm privy to at this time. Evans still sticking to his guns, what he wants. Lions, Brad Holmes sticking to what they're willing to give. So what I do know is Brad Holmes is doing what all GMs will do. I don't care if you're talking NBA, CBA, whatever it may be, NFL. They all do their due diligence, call around about different options. So I am aware that the Lions are still looking for another veteran receiver. Veteran could be anybody who's been in the league for a year or two or more. And because you look at this team, you look how it's constructed, I think we've got depth across the board at almost every position. Receiver, if Amon-Ra St. Brown goes down tomorrow or whatever day, that's going to put a lot of things in real question, especially until J-Mo gets back. And we still really don't know where he is with things. So it is my belief, not heard from somebody else, but it is my belief that Brad Holmes is still looking for other options. But the team would not be making any trades today nor tomorrow leading into the Kansas City game. You may ask why. The reason is they don't want any distractions. You get past Kansas City, I mean literally, as soon as the game's over, could something happen? Sure, because at that point you've got 10 days in essence into your next game. That'd be more of a time to strike. Regarding Isaiah Buggs, do I think he's out of town? Man, if he's not doing damage control with the coaching staff and GM after the last 48 hours, then I think it's a real possibility, especially when you look at the depth we now have seemingly at defensive tackle, maybe at safety, outside linebacker. Could you do some sort of package to acquire something that you feel like is more of a need? Between that draft picks, yes, the team could. In regards to Kansas City, I'm going to say this right now. I know I had plans to try to put out a pre-game video for it today, or a predictions video, but I'm not sure if I'm going to have the time today, so I'm just going to real quickly go through it. Kelce in or out, I think the Lions have got a real good shot at slowing down that Kansas City offense. Kelce is going to be limited no matter what happens. Mahomes without Kelce is a severely different quarterback. Like most quarterbacks, you take away their favorite target, they're not going to be as successful. So being that said, the receivers aren't at least proven in the NFL. Sky Moore actually may be one of the better ones, the Western Michigan University kid, and if you're from Michigan, you might know who this guy is. If not, don't worry about it. He did catch a touchdown in the Super Bowl. All right, so going on from there, I think it's going to come down to this. Can Kansas City, without Chris Jones, stop the Lions' short game, running attack, passes? I think it's going to be a real question mark. If Detroit really can pound the ball the way I'm anticipating, I think Detroit's going to win. I'm going to go with 38-30 Detroit. We'll see what shakes out, but that's my prediction. I do think you're going to see a strong game from the offensive line, and I do think that hits an area of real concern if I'm the Kansas City Chiefs, because their defensive line, especially without Chris Jones, wasn't great against the run to begin with. Now, taking him out for a game or longer, I think it's going to expose them to what Detroit really can do. If I'm a Detroit Lions fan, which you probably know I am since I'm running Lions Talk Live, I would say this. I think you got a real good possibility that, 32 hours from now when kickoff happens, the NFL world, by the end of that game, is going to be paying even more attention to the Detroit Lions, Dan Campbell, all of them. We'll see what shakes out, but just recap real quick. We should expect around 2 o'clock today, Eastern Standard Time, an update on Kelce. Could fluctuate an hour or two either way. That's totally up to the Kansas City Chiefs and their discretion. The other part is Mike Evans. He still wants 4 years. Brad Holmes reportedly is willing to go 2 years. Does that mean it's going to be draft picks and some players? That I don't know. I would say this, though. Brad Holmes is definitely looking around for another receiver. Right now, I think going to Kansas City, we're in pretty good shape. But again, if something were to happen to one of the current primary receivers for Detroit, you'd be in a world of hurt with that wide receiver room. So St. Brown, Marvin Jones, one of them goes down. That receiving core looks severely different. We think we've got something in Laporta. We don't know if we have something in Laporta yet. Gibbs seems like he's going to be a real strong rookie of the year candidate on offense, but we don't know until games hit. So we'll see what shakes out, but I don't know about you guys, but 32 hours from now, I know I'm going to be yelling and screaming and cheering on the Detroit Lions. One other thing I need to probably make you all aware of, I know we had talked about doing the Lions Talk Live game broadcast from Main Street Pub in West Main. I did talk to the regional manager yesterday. They're having some troubles with their Wi-Fi, their private server Wi-Fi. So apparently nobody remembers the password for it, so they're not sure if we'll be able to log in. If you saw when we did the test run there, we had to use hotspots because they didn't have the password, and that didn't go so well. So if they can't get us the password, then we will be there, probably watching the game. We'll probably do some sort of pre-game show from the parking lot, maybe a halftime and then post-game show. But without the stable Wi-Fi connection for the private server, we wouldn't be able to broadcast the game. Either it would be incredibly glitchy. Hope you all understand. If we get some further information on that, I'll update you guys. But I don't want anybody making a huge drive over or whatever to come over and be disappointed if there's no broadcast. Okay, if you guys have any questions, go ahead and put them in the comments section below. I see Dr. Detroit. We got really lucky to catch it. Yep, injuries. Hey, I'll say this for you, Dr. D. I get there are going to be some people that may say, hey, Lions, if they get the win, they did it because Jones wasn't there or Kelce. But you know what? Every time there's an injury in a team, somebody's got to get through it, one team or the other. And, if you've coached or been around sports or just a fan, I think we all get it. It stinks. Nobody wants to face an injured team, but, I'd rather us be the beneficiary of that than the other teams. Somebody gets hurt, hey, wish you well. Hope you get better real soon. Just hope it's not against us. So, all right. If you, if you're in the chat, pretty please with sugar on top, hit that like button, help us get up there. Also, we're trying to make a push to get to 3,100 subscribers before kickoff tomorrow. Heck, if we get to 32, I won't complain. But anyways, you guys have been great. If I do get some breaking news or any kind of news updates today, I'll get them to you as quick as possible. But it is going to be a busy day for me, work-wise and coaching-wise as well. So we got to get a few things done. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your days. I will see you all later today if there's some breaking news on Lions Talk Live. Otherwise, I'll see you all tomorrow. We're 32 hours away from kickoff. Take care.